Oh, we need the theme song. Nice.
It
Well,
has been a while.
awesome. It's been a long time.
It's
Episode
been
10.
almost two playoff series long.
Took us a long time, but we're finally back. To everyone here,
To be fair, you were gone for a while, so
2 weeks is a vacation time, my dude.
that's a long while. Oh, you got the brewski?
Yep. Long weekend day drinking.
I got shitties.
It's not really daytime anymore, so.
No, it's definitely nighttime. That's good.
Well, last night was crazy. It's been a while. We haven't talked since the Oilers played the Sharks in like
It was like the
their
second game
fourth
before the
last
end.
game, and now they've beat the LA Kings, which was kind of a given. That was kind of always going to happen. But they seem to have struggled with the Canucks up until last game, I would say. And I don't know if it's them beating themselves or the Canucks beating them, but it seems like it's. If I was going to put percentages on it, it'd be like 70% their like mistakes are catching them more than the Canucks do. I don't know what you think about that.
It's been a weird. It's been a bit of a weird series. Like, I've watched a couple of the other series, and it's very, very different than like the LA series. That one seemed like I feel like the Canucks. It hasn't been so much as like capitalizing on mistakes. I don't even know how to describe it, but it definitely doesn't feel the same way that we've beat ourselves before. I think it's just in the games we've lost. A Skinner needs to be better. Like, I think he's a great goalie, but the numbers are so against him. Because like,
He was strong in LA, but like he just getting
but
beat.
what I've been trying to say on in like comments and stuff and everything, but that I haven't heard anybody say. You know, there's teams where certain guys play really well against, or a team just has your team's number, and that was kind of the Canucks, right? Like they had our number the entire season. Sometimes there's just a team that no matter what you do, for whatever reason, they just either the style or the whatever it is balances out. Um, and certain guys just destroy other teams, right? Like there's certain guys that just play really well, or there's certain teams where certain players don't play well against. And so my theory is that like the Canucks are just not Stuart Skinner's team. Like if you take for example like Draisaitl owns Nashville, right? Like statistically, for whatever reason, he loves playing against Nashville. So my theory is that for whatever reason, the way the Canucks play, the way their jerseys look, whatever it is, it's just not in Stuart Skinner's favor. Because like his save percentage, like yeah, we won yesterday, but he only had like what 15 shots on him or something. So like
What's
not a
that good
huge.
stat site? It's not natural stat trick, but the like you're getting more players. It's not
Money
NHL
puck.
Edge, is it?
NHL Edge is like a lot of like statistics on like individual players, but like
What'd you what'd you call it?
well, there's natural
Money.
stat trick, money puck,
I think
and
that was
I
it.
think money puck's more cap space type stuff,
Oh,
and then Edge is like player stats. But like Skinner's save percentage is like 800. Like it's nothing. Like it's not great. And the theory is if we had played Pickard from like the first, second, and third game, we probably the series probably already over because he was giving us 9 or better, which in theory is all we need.
that's what I mean though. Like I don't know if it's all been on Skinner. Like the Canucks, especially in the games that they won, they were getting those weird outside shot goals, like the comeback win.
Mm-hmm.
Everything was like below the ringette circle. Like it was
There's
all
been some
between there and the
super
goal
weird
line.
bounces. Like the bounces have been ridiculous. There hasn't really been any major, at least not in our series, like in Boston, Florida, with all their goaltender interference and stuff like that. We haven't had many things like that in this one. Um, the thing that I find most damning, and again, I don't know, obviously not being in the room, we don't know, but it seems like I just don't know if it's a system thing. I don't know if it's something that the guys just think once we're up. But like once we get a couple goals, and we didn't do it yesterday, which was huge, but we did it in the couple games where we were up on them, and then we let them come back in. It's like once we got up one or two goals, we started trying to play a little bit more defensive. Okay, we're gonna try to hold this. We're gonna try to keep it. We're not gonna rush as much or try to keep our energy. I don't know what the deal is, but every time we do that is when the tempo shifts completely, and then we feel like we're chasing the puck again. Whereas if we just keep pushing, keep pressure, keep trying to get the next goal, make it 6-1, 7-1, 8-1, I don't care. Our defense plays so much better because if we're offensively thinking get the next goal, then we're still thinking defensively get the puck from them, right? It's not we're going to sit here and play a trap game and keep them to the outside. We're going to actually try to actively strip them of the puck and go get another goal. Like that's the goal, not to save a goal.
On when Vancouver, like it's weird because they've been trading like off games, I think.
Oh,
At
it's
least
been
that's what it
100%
looked
back
like.
and forth.
Yeah, because Vancouver has a very good F1, F2 aggressive forecheck. Like they take on, and for some reason, it's just brain fart city with the defense or the wingers. And like the game 5, there was like, I couldn't even count how many times. It was like 10 times, especially in like the second and third when they only got like 4 shots or whatever it was. They were just turning and firing these muffins right up the boards. F2 would pick it up. Our
Yeah.
board couldn't clear it past the defenseman. It's like we just kept trying to jam it up the same side all the time
Mm-hmm.
and just couldn't get out. And then the only option, or at least what seemed to be the only option because no one was hustling,
Yeah.
was to just like get out the lob wedge and chuck it into the neutral zone. And then you just turn it over and repeat and like start over again.
Yeah, I know. I hate the. Well, I feel like.
It's just a good forecheck, but we just didn't have an answer.
Well, I know like when Coffee came in, he said like, I don't want you just chucking the puck down the glass. Like, make a play. Try to make a play. Make a play. Make a play. And I think when we get away from that, then you're just giving them the puck back.
Well,
Like,
for the
yeah, it's
love
not
of
in your
God,
zone,
don't
but
turn it over.
well, exactly. Uh,
The
like
turnovers were brutal.
on both sides though.
Especially when each team's lost, they've turned it over pretty repetitively.
But what I think is that like when we lose, it's not so much because they're playing so much better than we are. Like we aren't playing as good as we can play. It's not like they're enforcing their game on us. It's because we're just like sitting back and not trying. Because I firmly believe at any point in time, we are the better team. And if we want to, we can impose how we want to play on the team by continually moving your feet, because then you start getting penalties called, by forechecking, hitting, and back checking. Like those three things are so big. And also not letting that guy sit in the middle of the ice. Like a few of their goals have just been like a guy left alone in the neutral, like right in front of the net, like a little bit of puck watching.
That's I think because they get overwhelmed very easily, right? Like they're kind of everyone's, oh man, the forecheck's coming, the forecheck's coming. What do we do? What do we do? Like, and that's to Vancouver's credit is good hockey. Like that's the system that Talkett wants them to play, is that like overwhelming pressure. But the thing is, And I don't know what it is about the Canucks when they don't do that. It's just they have nothing. Like if they don't have that aggressive forecheck that just repeatedly hammers right into the corners and then cycles it back up high, creates a bit of separation or channels it to the guy out front really quick. They don't really have anything else. Like even their power play, I know that during the beginning of the season, they were kind of like both weapons, and then the past 2 games, the power plays have been like MIA for both teams. And this is, I guess, the sketchiest part about this whole series is there's nothing that predicts the outcome of the game at all. Like
Mhm.
even last game, we're just like, is a 4-goal lead enough? Like I was questioning the 3-goal. I thought 4, with 5 minutes left was pretty safe, but
Yeah, 4 felt pretty good. Well, and the after Kane did that quick shot in the net right off the bat, you knew that they were not ready for it. So they were already kind of out of the game. So I felt after that one a lot better because like they literally just weren't even ready for it off the bat. Like, and I don't know if the crowd singing really distracted them because it kind of seemed like it.
well, kick rocks, nobody cares, right?
I
Like,
know. I don't know. And I mean, like everybody's playing with something. It seems like everybody's kind of slightly injured. Honestly, the guy that's impressed me the most is Yanmark. To be honest,
why Yanmark? Yanny.
he's just always fucking flying.
He does have an incredible amount of hustle that doesn't go away very easily. I'll give him that.
Well, he's hard on pucks. He's hard, not only hard on the guys and the players. He's hard on the puck. Like it is hard to get a puck past him, and like for him to not strip a puck off you, like he will hold a puck like I've never seen. Like he fights so hard. He's a tough kid, and yeah, he's just always going 110%. Like I was so happy he got that one goal because I was like, no one else deserves it more. And Holloway getting his yesterday, that's awesome. That guy's also just been flying out there.
Yeah, Holloway's looking like he just looks confident. I like the line matchups, and people are saying that's going to be a bit of the X factor is that Vancouver gets the last change. So Tocchet can like what they were trying to do is not put McDavid's line out against them against JT Miller's line.
Yeah, he doesn't
So
want to get
now they kind of
creative.
will have to.
But that's why having McDavid and Drysdale split up is such an important thing, especially when they're trying to line match because they only have one line that can play against one of our top lines. Then you're leaving the other one less protected, right? That's why I didn't like that when they put them together. I know why they did it, but I don't know. I
I
wonder
think that
if
that's the key to success because like you just said, I think Vancouver is quite good at shutting down McDavid, but they can't shut down the whole team. Like they just can't do it. So and when the rest of the team is actually playing well, and like this was kind of nice that we actually had a checking line, and I think Cult of Hockey, Dave Staples and um, Bruce McCurdy were talking about this one, where they were saying like it's just nice to finally have a checking line. Like the third line was doing that for the most
yeah,
part, and so was the fourth.
yeah,
But that's what you got to do is you got to just like burn minutes and crush bodies. Like I don't want you guys to be the goal scorers. You got to get out there and just hit the shit out of people and make sure that they're suffering. Like even get the odd. And they did. They actually put the checking lines out against Vancouver's top lines a couple times, and they just
yeah.
banged them around. Like because I mean you have a lead. That's why
Well,
you got to get the
even
first couple goals. Like
yeah, but that too is kind of weird because historically in this series, the team that scored first lost.
yeah, but I think it's because it was not played well after. Like if you think about it, it wasn't like they just kept up the forechecking, and again, Vancouver could also, clamp down on one line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yawn like that. You're making me yawn.
But even like
Always tired's yawning.
yeah, when Knobloch started the game, he started it with the McLeod. Who's on that one? McLeod, Fogel, Yanmark. Is that line?
I thought it was like Derek Ryan. Or no,
Well,
he wasn't
McLeod
out.
was playing center, so it was McLeod. think it's McLeod, Fogle, and Yammark. I think that's it. Because the next line I think was I can't remember. Anyways, he started like the third or fourth line for the game. And he's trusted the third and fourth line in a lot of scenarios now because they've played pretty well. Um, I know the taking Perry out was a bit of a hot take. They weren't sure if like, okay, yeah, like I know he hasn't
What
been
has he really
producing.
done though?
That's the thing. It's like, okay, well, he hasn't really been producing, but the argument was like, okay, but he also has X hundreds of playoff experience games. Like, if a guy is going to do something random and in a clutch moment, it's probably going to be somebody like that. But honestly, I liked
Prove it.
Carrick in. Well, that's just it. Like, I liked Carrick in there. Like, he played for 10 minutes. He had 6 hits. He drew a penalty.
He doesn't look as slow as Perry either.
He's not as slow. And you felt a little bit tougher. Like, you felt like
But here's the thing. What is Perry supposed to do when he's out there? Is he supposed to be a goal scorer? Because at least when you have Carrick out there, he's not supposed to be a goal scorer. He's supposed to be a guy that gets out and shuts people down.
Well, and he's
I'm
really
like, what role does
faceoffs.
Perry fit?
Yeah,
Because we have goal scorers. Last I checked, we have a lot of them. Like, we don't need him to be Holloway, McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman. We have those guys. Like,
yeah,
we need people that do the other shit in a hockey game.
yeah. Like you need him to be the shit disturber, the big body, the stand in front of the net and make it hard for the goaltender. That's another thing that I haven't noticed much in these games is there has not been much crashing the net. Holloway scored
Hyman was
on
sick there for a bit.
Well, I think there's some sickness going around, which I'm hoping. Like, okay, we were talking about guys being sick a couple of games ago, so now we're in 4 to 6 days after that. They should be getting better from a sickness. Like they looked better in the last game. So if everybody's not as sick coming into this one, that's great. But yeah, I don't know. There hasn't been much crashing the net. Holloway scored the first goal because he drove the net.
Yeah, but he wheeled around Hughes like he
But he also
had
drove the net.
speed.
He didn't like. He wasn't shooting from the hash marks. He wasn't like. He drove hard to the net and dipsied right into right through him.
But that's the cool thing about having somebody else that's willing to and can do that, because usually they see McDavid and all three of those guys just shut the door. Holloway, nobody's covering him. Draisaitl's obviously a sick passer too, just sauces it to him. And immediately everyone's caught off guard that this guy's already passed them. Because they're like, oh shit. And I wouldn't be surprised if they try to key in a little bit on that. Like that's one of the adjustments is like watch out for Holloway.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's been pretty lethal. They know how to play Hyman. They know how to play McDavid. They know where Draisaitl is. But like this is where the depth comes in, right? Like having people willing to do stuff that isn't predictable or like already a known factor,
Mm-hmm.
but with skill. And just like even the post game interview, I really liked what Holloway was like. He just looks like this excited young guy who's just like, this is fucking sweet. I'm playing with Draisaitl. Like he's excited to be there, which is like better than these mopey. I'm on the third line. I should be on the second or first. Like I don't know. Like you just play your game. Take your paycheck. Do your job. You're an NHLer. There's hundreds of thousands of hockey players in the world who are not NHLers. They're not even close to getting your salary, and they probably
like
are maybe just as good. Yeah.
Like fucking be grateful. Like
It should be like sick as hell to be you're basically on a school teacher schedule. Like your last game's by June and you don't start until next September, and you're being paid at least high six figures. So like sorry, not sorry, like you just that's the kind of excitement and attitude. Obviously you just scored a goal and a big goal. But like that was so good to see. Like some kind of fresh attitude towards it and not like doom and gloom or like sourpuss.
Yeah. Well, and like one thing I've never understood is like if you're playing on the third line and you're a good player, you have a more favorable matchup.
Yeah,
Like
you should be if you're good, you should be like
should be
crushing.
dominating.
Yeah.
Like if you are like when Kane was on the third line, like this is the best chance you could have ever had. Oh, I know they're at the top of everything.
We have 5 players. This is why it would absolutely
This must
overcook
have
my
been recently
grits,
updated.
because how are the Oilers not going deep? And how is
Yeah,
it
I know.
such a tough thing? And honestly, it was the last page, right? Like our
Look at the
our
time. Look
goaltending's
at
near the bottom.
Bouchard's time on ice is like 30 more minutes than like McDavid. Like
Well, he's a
Bouchard has been
defenseman.
fucking phenomenal.
Well, the thing is, you can't key in on a defenseman like that. Like maybe you're getting guys, but this is the thing that Edmonton has to their advantage. If you have a weapon on the point, you can't just collapse into your zone and cover only the forwards. You have to worry
Mhm.
about the shot from the point. And if you worry about the shot from the point, you create space in the middle. So it's like
Exactly.
there's all these things that just like add up so nicely.
Yeah.
But like why are we not like I guess and I'm scared to play Dallas if we do end up, passing through this because
I know,
as
but
much
like
as
okay,
like we're top loaded, but
they talk about like how great Dallas defense is and all this kind of stuff, but like I don't see them on any of these boards. Like I know defensively they're probably really good, but I feel like we just automatically get underrated, at least defensively, because that's kind of just been the MO for a long time. But like Ekholm and Bush, like are they like what's their plus minus for the playoffs? Like it's probably like
Ekholm? Ekholm should be up here too because he got like 3 goals, didn't he?
well, there's another Edmonton there. Well,
Or we can probably no, that's Kane.
yes, okay.
I mean, after what is it? After 7, it gets pretty. There's like a ton of people with 6 and
But
5.
like a lot of them aren't even playing anymore.
I don't even know what these other stats are. Rush attempts, rebound created,
And like Drysaddle alone, like that guy's a
giveaways.
fucking machine.
Who's the top giveaway? We're probably up there too.
Charlie McAvoy.
Oh,
Ooh, 2 in Boston. Colorado, they're not playing. Carolina, they're not playing.
how are we not higher? Kulak
Brett Kulak has the highest giveaways on the team,
with 8.
which I find hilarious because I feel like he's played really well. Wow.
Vogel. But the thing is, I guess that's like a whatever. But like when the giveaway happens, I think we get scored on more than these other guys. I don't know. I think the keys to victory for Vancouver are going to be the fact that they have home ice. Like they got the last change, they got the crowd. If they win, that's going to be a huge contributing factor.
Yeah, but like that should also be a contributing factor for us to beat them because if they lose, that building will crumble.
That's what everybody's saying. But like, I saw a guy saying like the reason why there's a riot is like they had an outdoor watch party in 2011 that had unmanaged liquor. So it was like basically just open boozing for the whole game, which I think went to OT. So like there was no. So basically, the mayor of Vancouver has said that there will be
I
no
know there's
outdoor
no.
watch parties.
I know,
Kick
which
rocks,
is
you
so
lose.
embarrassing. Like
Yeah, you
you
can't even
can't even party.
bunch of NDP mother truckers over there just can't like
They're the most uncouth,
control yourself.
unruly fan base in the entire league agrees on it. Like I've listened to some other guys talk about it who aren't Oilers fans. They just are part of the NHL, and they're all everybody agrees the Canucks fans are the most unhinged. Like they
But
threw
here's the
shit on
weird
the
thing.
ice because of a penalty
Yeah, the beer can, and it's like they
that they
even
were
got.
getting.
I don't know. They're getting a power play, or no, it was just going to 4-on-4, wasn't it?
I can't remember, but like I know it wasn't like a negative thing for them.
Was it when Pedersen did his reverse hit charge
Might
thing?
have been that one, yeah. Which is a charging because he left his fucking feet. But there's so many uneducated hockey fans. It's so annoying.
To be honest, though, I would be pissed about that call too.
Yeah, but if you look at it, as soon as he left his feet, like because the one shot from,
He hit him in the
uh,
head. It should have been like elbowing or something. Not, I don't know.
it's dangerous to leave your feet. That's why it's a rule.
But
Like,
usually
because
it's dangerous when you have momentum and then you leave your feet, not when you're standing still. So I get that. But in playing
but it
hockey,
it changes your center of gravity and changes the whole physics of the hit.
yeah, but Pedersen's like 120 pounds. Like,
But
I mean,
he also historically has jumped. Like that video, I don't know if you've seen it, but it was one of the times in this season where we played them. There was a big hit that he laid on CC, and they play it in like some of the reels. The guy comes skating up full from like around his net, and he's skating,
leaves his
skating, skating
feet.
full, stops skating, but then he jumps into CC, which is why he explodes him. It's like this guy can't stay on his fucking feet. And like if you see the angle shot down the boards towards Pedersen, and you can see the ref in the back, as soon as he left his feet, like he didn't even make contact. As soon as he left his feet, the ref's hand was already up.
No, I mean, like a third period, everyone's cooked in the bag. They're like, hey, he got hit. What? Like that's basically what happened there. Like
They're
everyone was
throwing
just.
shit for a penalty. I've never seen that.
I mean, Edmonton's not. I would say we're less unhinged, but I bet you the league thinks everyone's a bunch of loons.
Oh, probably.
Like I don't know. There's a bunch of meatheads there. It just depends on who you get. I wouldn't criticize Vancouver too hard for that, but they do have like their morph suit boys. They have that stupid ass bell they ring or whatever the fuck that
It's
was.
it's
Yeah,
so.
it's like what the shit.
And when will they
It's
realize
kitschy, and it's
that?
still really expensive to go there.
Yeah, but like when will they realize that waving a white towel is literally surrender?
Yeah,
Did they
we're like
not
the
think
only
this
team
through?
that does that. Well, Winnipeg goes hard in the paint on
Yeah,
that
but their
one.
whole thing was like the whiteout. So like at least they had a thing behind it. Like, oh, we're going white out. Everybody has white, 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 white. Theirs is just a white towel. And I forget what the banner said, but I think
We
there was like,
surrender.
no, I think there was a banner going around that's something like towel time or something. It was something stupid like that.
Oh, I can't even say what I was gonna say. That's hilarious.
It's
They
just,
gotta. I don't know. I don't think there's gonna be any riots. But the other interesting fact, and this guy was breaking it down, Edmonton's 7-4 in all playoff game sevens, and Vancouver's 6-6. But the ultra interesting thing is both of these teams have lost a Stanley Cup final game seven.
hmm,
So both of them have game seven L's in the column where the cup was on the line. Because that was Vancouver against Boston and
that
us
was
against Carolina.
2011, wasn't it?
Yeah, 2006 and then them against Boston, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a fire game. Like, it's going to be ridiculous. I mean, obviously,
I'm a
personally,
little
I
less nervous with Bezer being off the book charts there. Talkett's gonna like have a fucking vein, just like he's gonna be losing it.
I know that guy's
His
also
money,
unhinged, man.
all his money, all his odds.
Well, he bet everything on it.
Well, at least it's not a chintzy fucking mayor bet. Have you seen all these ones on Twitter and stuff? Or I guess X now officially.
No,
Like, if we win, you have to wear our jersey and give a speech written by us. It's so lame.
I know. It's like, why don't you
Like
do
nobody
something where
even
like
cares.
you have to donate a fucking pavilion? I don't know.
Name a street.
Yeah.
Game set
Also,
like
the
the
funny
loser
thing,
street.
like, and I think the thing that might bite Vancouver in the ass, and I'm hoping, like, just hindsight, obviously, but
Sea Love's nerves
no,
finally break.
well, I think Shilov's. I think we've cracked him.
Well, that's I don't being overconfident is the worst thing they can do.
Obviously, like, but I'm not playing the game, so I could be a little overconfident. But I'm also trying to like temper that. But basically, he's the first guy to let in that many goals in this series. The He just looked a little bit demoralized at the end of that. Also, the thing that I think is going to bite them in the ass is it seems like they treat the team as a couple of hot individuals. Like, I have never seen a team cheer so much for one guy before. Like, that
Ooh,
whole, like,
like
JT Miller thing. First of all, last year, they wanted to fucking run him out of town. They wanted him gone. They wanted him traded. Same with Besser. They wanted Besser gone. They wanted him traded. Same with Garland. They wanted all these guys gone more than anything.
that's Canada. Hey, in hockey market though, I think people were trying to murder Bouchard too last year,
But not to the extent
and
that I
Skinner.
heard from Vancouver. But like, you have that, and then you have them chanting just his name. They're not chanting for the team. It's not a team effort. It was just JT Miller. We don't do that. If McDavid scores a fucking amazing goal, we're not like McDavid, McDavid. It's like, let's go Oil. It's a team.
I would just say McDavo. That's a way better. McDavo.
But it's a team. And they did that for somebody else too. It was JT Miller, and I think they're trying to get Pedersen going. I think like Pedersen.
Giraffe neck.
I don't know. It's just
That guy has a wretchedly long neck.
he's also,
Like, how is he not just like clotheslined every game?
but he's got like a weird size head too. It's like it doesn't fit in his helmet. Like it's
So does Garland. Like that guy's bucket looks like it's like way too big for his dome, and then his little neck guard like shortens him up, so
I
he's
know.
just like sitting there like.
I know. It's like I know you're doing the neck guard thing for a good reason. Like I know you're just trying to show kids that it's okay to wear them. I know that you're trying to like you don't care that you look cool. That's great. Like it's a great reason, but you're
But he
wearing
just
a fucking turtleneck. Like
and he's always flying around, and he's always like yelling, and I'm just like, bro, like no one can take you seriously right now.
he's a piece of shit.
You're 5'6" with a neck guard and a dome lid bucket that doesn't. None of these things fit you or
Yeah.
your level of anger right now.
Yeah. Like did you
And
see
when
the
who
clip
was it
of
that
Vinny?
smoked him?
Oh
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Vinny, like with the
But it's
triple
just like
head.
but no, like
Oh,
there's a
with
clip of
yeah,
him just like in
Garland.
front of the net. He's just like holding his one hand, and Garland's like, he's just like, he's huge.
That's why I'm liking Vinny. Like he's easily
Just
a top two. Like, and he just goes in there with the headlocks. Like he could just throw bows.
he
Or
had one
like,
of our guys in that too. He had 3 guys on him. I
but
think
it's
he was
funny because he just
holding.
comes in and just like kind of like chokes him out and like pulls him back.
Well, and like
V
what
for
are you gonna
Vendetta.
do? It's like it's the same thing that like when Drysdale did is like ooh when Lindholm was like I'm coming for you and he's like like there's no comeback for that. Like what are you gonna do?
Unless you want to Petrangelo him, and even then that didn't take him out.
Well, and, like I'm super curious what actually happened to Drysdale in that first game because like he hasn't seemed like anything is bugging him. So I don't know if it was like it really was.
Maybe
just
that's
like
just a
back
ploy.
cramp.
It's a ploy.
Maybe he did pull something in his back and they just were able to like massage it out. I don't know, but he looks
Spleen.
fucking amazing.
His
Yeah.
spleen injury.
Yeah,
But you know what they should? That'd be kind of funny just to mess with him a bit. Just like, oh yeah, I'm hurt, and then just come out and just light him up. Because then they don't know. Because then the next time you actually are hurt, they're like, oh man, like what actually happened? Is he gonna actually be hurt?
He's faking it.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just. I mean, the odds are, I think, in Oilers' favor, but the way this series has gone, they have to flip the script and somehow win 2 in a row, which hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
And not to mention, 2 in a row hasn't happened yet this playoff series. It hasn't happened for the Oilers this year against the Canucks. They lost. They got swept the whole season. They've only won a game intermittently. So no matter what, this is a super tall order. I don't care if you want to, write the Canucks off. You're going to be ill-advised because they're not going to go away. And like, I don't know. It's going to be stressful as hell, honestly. But I think it's stressful as for both teams. It's just if this matters at all, we've been in a game 7 more recently than they have with this crew. So it's like if people are actually serious about that being a learning experience, let's see it. Let's see the education. Let's wow, you studied. You're going to pass the test. Let's see.
Well, and like the other thing with like the learning is that time when we were playing against Anaheim, and we were same kind of situation. It was 3-2 or whatever, game 6,
They
and we
won that
blew.
series.
Well, yeah, they won that series, but we blew them out like 7-1 that game 6. But then we went and lost the next one. So like, if you're talking about learning, okay, you learned something there. Don't do that. You learned something with the game 7 last year. You learned something this. You keep saying like we keep learning these hard lessons. Okay, do it then.
And like Vancouver doesn't, they can hold their heads super high. And even then, if they want to say that, I think if the Oilers win this, what'll that be? It'll still be 7-4 wins, like against the Oilers all season. Agreed, it was during their really shitty start. So
Mm-hmm.
call it what you want. They still lost. So Vancouver would be like, we still beat them. Go
Well,
for it.
Vancouver would still be like, if they win, it'll be like, well, we beat you with our third stringer and without Bowser and all this kind of stuff. Like, we're just so much better. And then if they lose, they're gonna be like, well, yeah, but we were on our third string goalie. We didn't have Demko. You know, this guy was hurt. This guy was hurt. And it's like,
Oh yeah, it's a zero sum game. Like
like,
no matter what they do, they're like, we still better. You're like, okay, like I get it. You're better.
yeah,
But that's why they need to shut them down, because in all reality, there's literally no excuse. And it would be so much fun. I don't even care if they don't beat Dallas, just to see a few more hockey games from this crew, because they are playing well. They deserve it from like their hustle all year. And maybe it just gets that second round monkey. I know they got to the Western Conference final
everything got
against the
swept.
Avs, right? And they got deleted. But that was pathetic. But like I think that we're better. We had Mike Smith in net. So like what did you expect? Like, I don't know.
I liked Mike Smith, man. He did good.
He did not do good.
I think he has a better save percentage than Skinner does.
Let's see. What was that? What year was that? 2021, 22?
That was the year that we beat Calgary.
Oh, this is scoring. I should look at the goalies. I think they changed their website. It's acting kind of weird. Was it 2021, 22?
2 years ago? Was it?
Oh yeah, we had Talbot. No. Where is...
No, Calgary had Talbot. Yeah, Mike Smith.
Wait, so we had Mike Smith and Koskinen?
Yeah.
That was actually who we tried to get through the playoffs with?
He had a 907. Like, that's not bad.
But like that actually doesn't make any sense. Like, how are they losing with that?
Like, Kemper had like a 900.
Where is Colorado's? Oh yeah. So I guess like I don't know. You have to at least be over 900 to win, but I guess that doesn't tell the whole story, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously not. Like, our defense wasn't as good that year. Like, our defensive play is much better now. And we also have more support from the forwards. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just saying I don't think that like you can, and maybe it's both sides of the coin. You can't go with like a aged out tender, and you can't go in with a fresh one either. Like at some point, and this is a problem. Like, I've always thought that the goalie coaching situation in Edmonton was dog water, and it probably still is. I think Pickard just does his own thing, and that's why he's good and reliable.
Mm-hmm.
None of the games he was in were lost because of his performance.
No.
And I would dare say that throughout the whole year, whenever he played, that was the case. He never cost us a game.
He's
But
probably like been like
Stu
the
has
most
cost
consistent
us
player.
a game.
Yep.
He's also played more games and against tougher opponents. So like it's kind of a wash to say that. It's honestly, it comes down to not making those boneheaded moves. Cover the fucking guy in front of the fucking net. Get the puck out of the fucking zone. Do those two things against Vancouver, and you'll be okay. If you're feeling the pressure, no muffins up the boards. Just stop.
Yeah.
Stop. And don't rip it up the center either. Fire it back around. I don't know. Keep it to the outside if you have to, if you don't have an option. maybe lob it. That's like your last resort.
Just don't
But
turn it
like
over.
make a hit. Maybe if you're gonna feed it to the D man, hit them. They
Yep.
can't just stand there all day, which they do. And this is the other thing. And maybe the NHL doesn't coach this anymore. Maybe it's actually a huge mistake. I'm just not aware. But like, shouldn't that guy be getting punished? Like, if he's
Right?
keeping the puck in, open ice hit, boom.
Right?
The forward, if
That's
you
what I
miss the
was
puck,
taught.
smoke
Like,
him.
that guy, that D on the top end, that forward, as soon as, like, he's going to pass the puck, as soon as he's got the puck, you're fucking drill him.
He's already got it past you. You're out of position. At
Yeah,
least
because
take
then he
him
knows
down.
he doesn't have the time next time. Like, he knows he's going to get destroyed.
Yeah, he's going to double check. I mean,
You
people
don't see
like
that
Quinn.
ever.
Well, maybe it's because they sidestep you and they get like a free shot on net. So I think everybody's like very defensively coached, but then I'm just
I
like,
hate when we start playing like we're on a penalty kill when it's 5-on-5. I'm like,
just
why
don't
are
give
you-
them time. I like the safe
Yeah.
play, but just too much time is stupid. They need to feel the pressure.
Yep.
And I think that, like, I don't know, we do that in beer league sometimes, or most of the time. I'm just like, even if like this guy burns me, it's just like I don't want him. I want him to fumble it a little bit. You know, like I want him to choke like a tiny bit,
guess.
or miss the net on a shot because he sees me coming or something. Like,
Yeah.
but if you just let him like line up like it's a golf shot and he's trying to hit the green, like give him like 15 minutes.
Yeah, no, I've never really I mean, it must be an NHL thing because it's definitely something you don't see. And I know they have different systems and stuff they play, but I'm like, force them a little bit, like, because they do that on the penalty kill. They're forcing them to make the play, right?
Maybe they don't trust the goalie.
I don't know.
I guess that makes sense, but like in all reality, what's the worst that could happen? Like if you're not willing to 100% block the shot, which most of them haven't been, then what are you doing out there? Blocking the pass? Pressure your only other job, the only other possible thing you could be doing is pressuring the D man.
Yeah.
Like that's all I can think of your job as, like a forward that's kind of like out there waving your stick at the top like when they have it.
Mm-hmm.
And usually what's happening here is they're like RD are they're collecting the puck along the boards. F1's coming in on the forecheck. They feel the pressure, so they chuck it up and it doesn't make it past the winger or their pinching defenseman, or usually not pinching, but like obviously pinning in the puck.
Yeah.
And then they just dump it back into the corners, and Ekholm's been like hit a bunch of times because of that. They're not afraid to hit our D man. So we're getting beat up for what? It's not getting out, and they're not paying a price.
Yeah, if you're gonna pay the price, you better at least get it out.
Exactly. Last thing you want to do is just get nailed for no reason.
Yeah, I do like the splitting up of CC and Nurse though.
It hasn't been worse than it was.
Fucking caved, man. Like,
but that's why I don't understand. Like, you have to be willing to change it up. Like, because like going to Pickard was something that Woodcroft, Jay Woodcroft,
yeah, he
didn't do.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to be like, okay, like maybe this isn't what sounds correct, but like the other thing isn't working either. So what do I have to lose? Like, let's try this out.
Statistically, Pickard has been more consistently solid. Like, you're not putting in this goalie that you're kind of like, well, I don't know what we're going to get from him. Every time he's gone in, he has played exactly how you want him to.
Yeah.
And for him to get those 2 games, that's huge.
Well, I mean, he lost one, but...
Yeah, but it wasn't because of him.
No, like, his goals against average is still, like...
fucking shit in front of him. Like, we weren't...
It was just playing scared. It was scared. But that's what I'm worried about. Like, if they come out and do that tomorrow, like, I'm going to shut it off. Like, I don't want to watch them lose in the last... Like, it's so easy to see that's the pattern they're doing. And I think that they do play better with pressure, so I don't think that'll actually happen fully. But man, oh man, if they just, like, crumple like that and they just kind of flutter into oblivion for the year, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that'd be incredibly disappointing. Like, I think they really have... I know they say, like, momentum doesn't carry, but, like, you have to take some of this, like, 5-1...
Make it carry.
There's no reason why we cannot score 5 goals on these guys every time we play them.
Yeah,
there's no reason.
route them.
when we beat them, we're forcing our game on them.
And apparently, like 3-goal lead is not enough. Like you just don't stop ever. Like you can take a break after the game's over.
Yeah, you got to play for 60 minutes.
And it's
That's
a
it.
lot nicer that we're not like top loading like 30-minute games for like Dry and McDavid.
Yeah.
But that's like I don't know if like Knobloch is only doing that because he saw like a glimmer of something that wasn't there before. We just all weren't aware. Like maybe people were dog water in the practice that morning. I don't know. Like there must have been a reason why he wasn't going with them. We just don't know.
Well, when he first switched him up, it was to protect Draisaitl and to get him to play wing. That's why he top loaded it with McDavid and Hyman, or Draisaitl on that top line for those 2 games, because Draisaitl was still kind of shaken up from whatever it was, and then it seems like he's totally fine now, and so he split him up. Like,
Or they
we
just like
have to
pump him full of painkillers.
I don't know what they got in there, but like, fuck, man, German engineering.
Well, it's funny too because like that's it's not like you can't load him up on the power play. Like it's kind of similar effect. Get some decent performance out of the guys, but I don't know, man. It's going to be stressful.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a few brewskis for that one.
Some copium.
Some heavy liquor.
I just don't like, man. Imagine like the conversation would be very different if they didn't blow that first game. Like, even if you could like the other game, sure they probably could have won 2, but like for fuck's sake, why'd they have to give that one up?
Yeah.
Like, how much more relaxed would you be? Like, obviously, it wouldn't be game 7, but like, not having to do that, not having to go the whole fucking 9 yards and with your butt clenched the whole way. Like,
Yeah.
if you got something, run with it. Take the ball, touchdown, convert on the field goal, win the game. Like, don't wait for the last minute, man.
I know.
Like, do they even want the cup? I don't know. Do they? Fucking show us. Let's go. Maybe they're
That's just it,
tired of
right?
playing hockey this year. Who knows?
Out of these 2 teams, we have to be the one that wants it more. Like, we've gotten there, we've tasted it, we've been through it. We've been through the early exits. We've been through the first round, the second round, the third round exit. Like, we've been through all this. Like, get it done.
And I think losing to Dallas would feel a lot better if that ends up being the case. Like if they
Well,
don't
I feel
make
a
it to
lot
the
better
cup.
than Vancouver.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's almost going to be a question like does the team implode? Like how much shifting around you do if you can't even beat the Canucks who are supposed to be like I'm saying like supposed to be. Obviously they were not bad. They're great. They're a great team. I think their time is coming. I really hope it's not this year and even if they beat the Oilers, I still would firmly believe they're not going all the way. I think the Oilers can go all the way. I don't think the Canucks can, but I'm like, man, it would be a big old question mark on like what happened.
The thing that I'm worried about and also excited about is it feels like this year of all years, they've made a concerted effort to make it more about the Canadian thing. Like, there's been more talk about the Canadians not winning, then more talk about that for just generally more talk of that. And now we have 2 teams playing
They're
against each
priming
other.
us.
It feels that way. It feels like whatever team comes out of this series, this all Canadian series, the last 2 Canadian teams left, whatever team comes out, it almost feels like Bettman has given the okay for a little bit more to go the Canadian team's way.
It's like Gary Bettman sitting in his office and he's just like, okay, guys, this is the switch. It's US. Oh, we're
It's
on Canada
time.
now. Yeah.
We got to give
Everyone's
them
like,
something.
well, it's just like you can't say American refs in either game because, like, I guess they're both Canadian. But like the refing has been generally like I don't know, man. Like some people say, "Oh, last couple games was fine," but I was like, it was still like what? Like for a lot of the calls in the first period, and then I feel like, and I don't know if I'm like off base on this, but like the third period has no calls at all. Like the last few games, well, there was a bit of that scrum and stuff, but like
But like
no
the refing
meaningful
has been
penalties.
like incredibly shitty, but also even. Like, I
But
think
that's the
almost
thing is
every
they're just
game
trying
has
to
been.
force even calls.
I think so. Like, there's always just like, oh, well, we've given 3 here, so we have to give 3 here. Like, it doesn't matter what they are. If it's a weak one, that's what we got to go with. Like, it's been absolute
They
shit.
can't take any heat. And honestly, that covers your butt. Like if you're like, well, they both had 3 power plays.
That's it, right?
You can't say anything. Like obviously, penalties now then go down to like pivotal moments. Like were they on the breakout? Was it like was it some weird behind the play thing that should have just been let go? Like those kind of things. I can see that being annoying, but at the end of the day, it's just like if it comes down to power play time and the power play time's even, Stripes kind of get a get out of jail free card.
I think that's it. I think it's like they don't care how shitty it is. It just has to be even.
Which I guess I'm somewhat okay with.
Yeah, like it hasn't felt like that annoying because you haven't been able to go at the end of the game and be like, well, we only had like 2 power plays and they had 10. It's like we had 5, they had 5. I mean, hopefully,
What if they try to even it up? What if tomorrow there's like 6 penalties against the Oilers and like 3 for the Canucks?
Well,
I think
be annoyed.
But that's the thing, man. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yep.
I don't know.
It's frustrating.
Might as well get some sleep tonight because I might not get any sleep tomorrow.
Yeah, no kidding.
Anger, sadness, depression, joy,
it's kind of an early game.
Exhilaration. What time is it?
7.
Okay. Well, we should probably call it here. Call it a day.
We should do another one probably. Well, not tomorrow, but
yep. We'll have to get back into it. A little spit shine, couple more features, maybe some.
We'll do a couple quicker ones to get caught up, and then we'll try to go back to that schedule again.
Yeah, man. Well, we got hopefully. I don't know, either a recap or a recap, one way or another. Maybe Tuesday.
Hopefully, it's a good recap.
Not a burn your jersey.
Yeah. Oh man, that'd be tough.
All right, thanks everybody. It just kind of ends, so